Right now, the New York Knicks are one win away from a championship. If they get it, grown adults in Madison Square Garden will cry. And to understand why, you have to understand what happened the last time. Because the last time the Knicks won it all, gas cost 40 cents a gallon, and the World Trade Center had just opened its doors. These Knicks were strange. In an era of one-man shows, they had no single superstar dragging the team behind him. They had 5 players who moved like one organism. Their coach, Red Holdsman, preached 2 commandments: hit the open man and see the ball. That's it. That was the whole religion. Sports writers called them the thinking man's team. A roster so smart it included a future U.S. Senator, a future Hall of Fame executive, and a young bench player named Phil Jackson, who would one day coach Michael Jordan. Spring 1973. The playoffs. In the Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks meet the Boston Celtics, a 68-win juggernaut, the best record in basketball. Nobody beats Boston in a Game 7, especially not in the Boston Garden, where the ghosts of 11 championships live in the rafters. The Celtics had never lost a Game 7 at home, ever. To understand 1973, you need 1970. Game 7 of the Finals. The Knicks captain, Willis Reed, has a torn muscle in his thigh. He can barely walk. Nobody knows if he'll play. And then, minutes before tip-off, he limps out of the tunnel. The Garden doesn't cheer, it erupts. The Lakers stop their warm-ups just to stare. Reed scores the game's first 2 baskets, the only points he'll score all night, and it doesn't matter. The building believes. New York wins its first title ever. That limp out of the tunnel is still, 50 years later, maybe the most famous entrance in the history of American sports. But champions age fast. By 1972, the Knicks were back in the finals, and the Lakers crushed them. Willis Reed's knees were failing. Critics said the window had closed. New York's beautiful machine was supposed to be finished. The 1973 season was meant to be a funeral. Instead, it became a resurrection. The resurrection had a secret weapon, and he came from the enemy. Earl Monroe had been the Knicks' most hated rival, a Baltimore showman with a spinning, impossible style, nicknamed Black Jesus because of what he did to defenders. When New York traded for him, experts laughed. 2 ball-dominant guards, Monroe and Walt Frazier, sharing one basketball? Impossible. Egos that big don't fit in one backcourt. But Monroe did something almost no star has ever done. He volunteered to shrink. He sacrificed his own legend to fit the machine, and the machine became unstoppable. Here's what makes 1973 mythical. It never happened again. The Knicks have not won a championship since. Not in the 80s. Not in the Patrick Ewing 90s, when they reached the finals twice and lost both times. Not in the 2000s, when the franchise became a punchline. 53 years. The Garden filled every single night anyway. The most expensive arena in basketball. Sold out for half a century of heartbreak. Children who watched the 1973 title became grandparents waiting for the next one. Which brings us back to right now. June 2026. The Knicks lead the finals 3-1. One more win, and the longest-suffering fan base in basketball gets to exhale for the first time in 53 years. Somewhere in New York, there are fans who saw Willis Reed limp out of that tunnel, and they have waited their entire adult lives to feel that again. The 1973 Knicks prove something teams keep forgetting. 5 players who trust each other will beat 5 stars who don't. Whether this year's team finishes the job or not, that lesson is why New York has never stopped believing. If you want more true stories like this one, the kind they don't teach you in highlight reels, subscribe. The next story is already on the channel. Game 7, Boston Garden. The Knicks don't just win, they dismantle the Celtics, 94-78. It is the first time in history Boston loses a Game 7 on its own floor. One sports writer said watching it felt like seeing gravity repealed. The funeral was canceled. New York was going back to the finals, for a 3rd straight year, to face the team that humiliated them 12 months earlier. May 10th, 1973, the final buzzer sounds. Not in New York, but in the Lakers' own building. There's no hometown explosion, just a tired group of men hugging at center court, 3,000 miles from home. Willis Reed, on ruined knees, is named Finals MVP. In the locker room, champagne soaks a roster that knows, the way aging champions always know, that this is the end of something. They were right. No one in that room could have imagined how final it was. The 1973 Finals, Knicks vs. Lakers, Round 3. Los Angeles has Wilt Chamberlain, the most physically dominant force the sport has ever known, a man who once scored 100 points in a single game. They have Jerry West, the player so perfect his silhouette would literally become the NBA's logo. The Lakers win Game 1. Here we go again. Every newspaper in America writes the same story. The old Knicks just don't have enough. And then the Knicks do what thinking teams do. They adjust. Their defense becomes a swarm, 5 men defending like one. They hold the Lakers under 100 points in 4 straight games. Walt Frazier glides, Earl Monroe spins, and Willis Reed, the limping captain everyone wrote off, turns back the clock one last time. New York wins 4 games in a row, series over 4-1. May 10th, 1973. Richard Nixon is in the White House, and a scandal called Watergate is just starting to boil. A first-class stamp costs 8 cents. The top song in America is Tie a Yellow Ribbon. And in Los Angeles, a basketball team from New York is about to finish one of the most beautiful seasons the sport has ever seen.